Warning, this content is for entertainment and educational purposes only. What's up, everybody?
Good morning.
What's up, everyone?
Back from Florida into the cold tundra.
Yeah, tell us about that. Where'd you stay? You were in Miami?
Miami for 3 days, South Beach, Miami for 3 days, Key West for 2.
Oh yeah, Key West was great. Where'd you stay in Miami?
The Eden Rock.
Oh, okay.
It's like a split hotel. It's Nobu and Eden Rock. Amy was telling me to go eat at Nobu. And I'm like, yeah, if we get time. And then I'm like, it's in my fucking hotel.
It's
so good. There's one literally right next door to me. Is there like the worst? The worst good thing.
I didn't do dinner there. I did have lunch. I had their Wagyu burger for lunch.
That's my favorite restaurant nationally. Like I've been to Nobu's throughout the country, and I've been to a lot of places throughout the country. That's still my favorite one.
I didn't realize they had a hotel chain.
Yeah, they just started that not too long ago. It's just a few years ago they started that.
Yeah, so that's the hotel I stayed in. It was nice. Yeah, it rained two out of the 5 days we were there. It was chilly the last day we were there. Chilly for Florida, 60 degrees. 60. You know? Right, and that's Florida chilly. Key West is an interesting place, man. I have never seen so many 50-plus-year-olds day drinking in my life.
Yeah, it's fantastic. When I went there, I met this guy who he just went there on vacation and just never left. And he got there like 3 years before. And I'm like, he met some girl there and just never left, never went home.
That's awesome.
He's just there and he just drinks every day. You can drink out in the street there too. Like every bar. They just give you when you're on your way out, they just give you a plastic cup. Say, hey,
everybody's drinking on the street.
Yeah.
And I don't quite understand it. Like pot's not legalized in Florida, but there's pot shops everywhere in Key West. How does that work? I guess they just don't. It's like an uncharted territory.
Yeah. So Key West seems to have its own like regulatory. They just don't enforce all the regulations.
Yeah, it's an interesting place. I was talking to a guy who was in the Coast Guard down there, and he said he was regularly fishing drunk people out of the bay. It's where we stayed, the cruise ships. It was where the cruise ships dock, and you'd see people get off, and then they come stumbling back like 8 hours later into the. I told my wife, I'm like, this is like spring break for old people.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Where did you stay in Key West?
God, what was the name of the Opal Key? Yeah, Opal Key was the resort.
Oh, okay.
Literally right in front of the dock for the cruise ships. Like we went out on our balcony to go look at the water, and here was a 20-story tall cruise ship sitting there right in front of our window. I'm like, all right, well. But it was close to everything. It's an interesting place. I have mixed feelings about it. I'm not like a big partier. I like kind of low key, but it was great for people watching, man. Mm-hmm. And I ate half my body weight in key lime pie too. I had to sample every piece of key lime pie in Key West just to make sure to find out which one was the best.
What was the conclusion?
I mean, Kermit's but that was number 2 rated on TripAdvisor, but I would put it number 1.
Oh, there you go. The inside scoop on the key lime pies in Key West from the man himself.
It was more like a cheesecake consistency. But yeah, Miami was great. Miami is full of beautiful young people. Key West is full of ugly old drunk people. It's a huge contrast. Yeah. And the food in Miami is amazing. There's some amazing restaurants in Key West. It was fried fish patties and French fries and margaritas. Because I'm kind of a foodie. If I'm gonna, I like trying restaurants out.
Yeah,
Josh, are there any Gmails in Key West? There are a couple. So Josh, you might want to book your flight. Who was asking me if I was going to the link today? Somebody was asking me if I was going to the Eagles. Oh yeah. Dylan was asking me if I was going to the game today. Dude, I looked at the seats. Like the nosebleed seats were $1,400 a piece.
Oh my god!
I mean, it's only a 3-hour drive from here. I really thought about it. It's not that far of a drive to Philly. Maybe 2.5, 3, something like that. I thought about it, but yeah, I don't know, man. $1,400. That's 2 kits of Serostim. And you can only buy tickets in pairs. You can only buy tickets in pairs, so it'd be $2,800, and nobody wants to go to Philly with me. Into the belly of the beast. I did find the secret in Philly. I've been to 2 games up there. If you come out of the game, you have to bring a change of clothes with you. Take your hat off, take your sweatshirt off, and you might want to put on a Jalen Hurts jersey if you're leaving and act depressed.
If I went to see the Commanders play the Eagles in Philly, I would be wearing Eagles garb. Secretly, like, oh yes, good. I mean, no, boo, bad.
Steven says your face has changed significantly. Yeah, you're losing weight. Colin has got the perfect protocol, man. He comes to the gym once or twice a week, and he's been dropping 2 or 3 pounds a week. So, if anybody wanted a testimonial for Retatrutide, there you go.
Absolutely covered in cat hair, though. I think I gained a couple pounds of cat hair. I should put on a clean shirt before I joined the fucking stream. Yeah, I know. I gotta get into the gym more often. I've been slacking a little bit, but it's working. Retatrutide, it just fucking works. What can I say?
We were talking about it before we came on. I started it this week. The first day after I've never had farts that smell like this before. It smelled like some, those, I don't know if you guys, maybe Ryan, you're old enough. I remember when I was in school, like people would get those sulfur capsules and throw them on the floor in the school to stink up the hallways.
Yeah.
Oh, look who it is. It's Steve.
Hey, man. Steve,
what's up, guys?
You're fucking massive now.
Yeah.
No, man. I lost a lot of size already. I haven't trained for 6 weeks.
Really, man? Yeah, you had an injury, right?
No, I had gyno surgery, liposuction.
Gyno.
Yeah, I did it the full-blown. So I didn't want to end up like you, Paul, where I got like 3 gyno surgeries that I had to do. So I purposely grew it with test, nandrolone, mint, and anadrol. So I got like this big, like 2 inches across. And then I had it all surgically removed, and I did liposuction at the same time. So that was one hell of a procedure. So I got incisions here for the liposuction. It was all the way here.
Okay.
And then the gyno surgery removal. So I have a little bit of scar tissue now, some inflammation, some bruising, but all is good. And then I was at the Lasik eye surgery clinic, and they had an advertisement for orthopedics. I was like, you know what? Let's get the plate removed out of my leg. So I did that as well.
Oh, yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Have you had gyno before?
Sorry.
Have you had gyno surgery before, or is this your first rodeo?
No, first time. Yeah, I always kept procrastinating about it.
It's always shocking. Did you see what they took out?
Yeah, I got pictures and everything. I'll record the video tomorrow. It will be graphic as fuck.
Yeah, we got to see those the gnarly pictures.
Yeah, you want the gnarly pictures now and lose monetization?
I will wait till tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm always shocked. Like,
what's up, Dave?
When I had mine done, they just... Were you awake, or did you get knocked out?
No, I was awake. Yeah, I was awake.
I was awake when they did mine, and they kept pulling shit out, and I was like, "What?"
Oh my God.
Yeah, he removed the whole chunk. You literally feel it going out, even though you're numb. And then he kept going in there and just with a scissor or some surgical tool, just clipping. Because I was like covered from this part all the way up, so I could only listen. And they had some radio in the background. They said, "Well, what music do you listen to?" I said, "It doesn't matter. Let me just enjoy the surgery." But the liposuction was kind of brutal. It was like forcefully going through my chest with some machine that sounded like a drill bit.
No.
So slightly traumatizing, but not as traumatizing as a LASIK eye surgery. That's literally lasers in your eye.
I've been thinking about getting LASIK.
Oh, me too, but I'm so nervous.
I usually have people take Xanax before that procedure.
Yeah, that's they gave me like they wanted to offer me paracetamol. I'm like, don't worry, I got it covered.
They didn't realize they were talking to Flex Luthor.
Yeah, exactly.
Steve has that in his fanny pack.
Yeah, I got everything needed with me at all times. Yeah, the surgery is brutal, and of course you read all those horror stories online. But I went to a clinic that I know several people that went there, and they got a great result. And but yeah, that they literally shine a laser in your eye. You don't see anything. And then they move you to another part of the machine. They cut you open. Then you really don't see anything. Like everything is a haze. And then they shine the laser on the flap for 11 seconds or 18 seconds, depending on what adjustments they need to make. So you can literally smell burning flesh. It smells worse than burning hair. Yeah. And they put it back. And then for that brief moment, you're like, oh, holy fucking dog shit. That's a huge difference. Because you can literally see everything sharp like a hawk.
Incredible.
And then your eye starts to hurt. I have no idea. I think it's plus 2.25.
Okay. I'm a -3, so yeah.
Like I can see from up close, but not from afar.
Mm-hmm.
The weird thing is like from up really, really close, it's more blurry now. So that I'm a little bit pissed about. So when I shave, I have to go like 3 inches back for me to shave. So now I'm shaving from a distance. I'm like,
everybody who had LASIK says it's one of the best decisions they ever made. So
I know, but man, you look at what's online and it's like it's the exact opposite.
Same with gyno surgeries, same with leg surgeries. I mean, I have like a tiny infection in my leg, and that's now already cleared from the antibiotics. I just had some redness. Could be just inflammation because all the fluid is just draining down. And then you go online for leg surgery infection, and you're like, okay, I definitely don't have that.
Yeah, you don't want to end up like me, man.
No? Yeah, you had MRSA, right?
It ended up being, actually, was that flesh-eating bacteria.
Jeez.
Yeah, I had to have my finger operated on to get it cleaned out. And
how's it look?
6 weeks of, if you can see.
You're flipping me off right now?
I don't know if you can see the scar.
Yeah.
But
that's pretty okay. Still works? Still got the tendon? Still got the magic touch?
Yeah, it's still, the magic finger still works.
You don't want to lose that.
Yeah, 6 weeks of antibiotics. Talk about fucking your stomach up.
Yeah, same here, man. I'm already on for 2 weeks, and I got another 2 weeks to go, and then it's time to repopulate. But it ruins your digestion. I'm so happy I did a food allergy test before that, because it turns out I was allergic to egg whites. So that whole time I was in the US, every morning I have egg whites, and with Ryan I went out, beautiful egg white omelet or egg dishes, and that just blew my stomach out to further than my chest. And so I removed the egg whites, and dude, I feel 10 times better.
Oh my gosh, can you believe that? Yeah, I mean,
dude, all the good stuff. It was so serious that I put it as the background on my phone. So now I got like all the stuff here in red that I shouldn't be eating. So that's like yogurt. I ate that every day. Egg whites, ate that every day. Wheat flour in the weekend, right? You go for some bread. Cashew nuts, ate that every day. That's all in the red. So they said avoid that for 3 months. And then mozzarella and butter and almonds and gluten and all the good stuff was kind of on there. So I removed everything, and now I can pull a vacuum again at the end of the day. It's a big difference.
Did you do the all-cat test, or did you get the one where they poke you?
No, the immunoglobulin. So it's not super accurate because they don't differentiate between raw food or cooked food. But it's, it's an indication. So they didn't do the dot test, but just
when I found out I had IBS, I went through and did the dot test, and it was just like, a page full of shit I'm not supposed to eat.
Yeah, and I also did a stool examination, so that was interesting, scooping your own excrement into a little vial.
Amy really wants to look at my poop.
I'm telling you, all of you.
Keeps pushing me.
Trying to get you all to do the GI map.
I should sell it on eBay, at least make a profit.
There'd be somebody some sick fuck that would buy
100%.
Sure.
100%. I'm sure Lee Priest would buy it, allegedly.
You start selling your bathwater.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a good seller, yeah. I did the full... Yeah, I did the full spectrum, and I'm doing pretty okay. Just the swelling in my leg is a bit brutal. So yesterday I had my live stream, and then I wrapped it in a Band-Aid, and then I was done with the live stream after 2 hours and 40 minutes. There was like a pocket of fluid at my ankle where I didn't wrap it. God.
Steve, do you have access to a hyperbaric chamber over there?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
That would, would be very helpful, especially with like dependent injuries, like in the feet or legs, like just because the oxygen saturation and blood flow can be so compromised. Like I would, if you can get one, I would highly recommend it. Just especially if you feel like you might have any little bit of infection happening. It just
the infection is already gone, but the problem is it's far away and it takes time. Which I don't have time. It's annoying
get
as
that
hell.
part of it.
Yeah, that's why I had to cancel the trip to Arnold Classic. It just every time I come to the US, I lose 2 weeks because the time zone difference and the 24-hour flight. And I went to New Zealand, and that was 15 hours, I believe. And then it took me a week to recover, and get back into the groove. And then you're so backed up at work, so I'm not going to make it this year.
Talk to you about that. We're not happy that you're not coming to the Arnold.
Yeah, I know. Chase was kind of pissed.
The booth crew has got to stay together. Come on.
I know, man. But I can't make it. It's just too much. And right now I can't even walk properly. So I'll try to be there for the Mr. Olympia. That's a little bit more convenient to travel because then it's only Las Vegas and onwards travel to Ohio, and then back.
You just don't want to come to Ohio in the middle of winter.
That too. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. No, that too. Because I was in the UK and it was like almost freezing with the Dr. Dean St. Mart's. And all I want to do is eat. It just makes me so hungry when I'm cold.
It's been insanely cold here in the US recently.
It still is
8 degrees here.
It's like
we might get up to 30 today. I'm excited.
Yeah, right. It's like the coldest winter that I can remember in a long time.
I'm just gonna buy one of your shirts, Steve, and shave my head real tight and pretend to be like you.
Yeah. You just run around like me. I think I still have one left over somewhere in the closet. Yeah, maybe I could send it over express. Steve, you look different.
We'll take turns wearing it.
Yeah,
I'll wear it today.
Yeah. They even have it in double XL, which is Japanese size. That's single XL in the Western world. Like this is a double XL, or it's a 5XL. This one, so it feels like a normal XL to me.
So the double X might only fit me.
Japanese size.
Yeah. Asian
Christina
size.
got you a hairless cat poster. She was going to give it to you at the Arnold.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I feel really guilty.
She thought of you, so she got it. She was like, "I'm going to give this to Steve at Arnold."
Oh no. Well, I guess I have to come for another show then.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Make you feel as bad as possible. There's still in mind.
How was New Zealand, Steve? The pictures looked awesome.
It's amazing, man. It's amazing. Yeah. We drove around from Wellington to Taupo, if I pronounce it correctly, in the middle. You know what's weird? Like I kept announcing on my Vigorous Q&A and on Instagram that I was coming to New Zealand, and nobody replied. And then when I was in New Zealand, I think I got like 250 people wanting to meet up, take me out to dinner. I'm like, dude, my holiday is fully booked now. I wanted to organize a seminar or something, but nobody stepped forward. I contacted a few people and nobody was interested. So I just booked my holiday. And then when I was there, everybody wanted to meet up. So maybe next time. But it's a beautiful country. Yeah. People are friendly. It's nice. Great food. Absolutely great food. Great wine. Drank a lot of wine. And then Taupo, the air is so clean that you can see the Milky Way. So that was super cool. And then you're like, why are those stars moving? And you see like 7 satellites going past you at low orbit. It's probably Starlink.
Yeah,
that's something really like that. Yeah, it was really, really cool. And of course, when you're plastered, it's even better.
Yeah, don't get us started on drones on this episode.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a hot topic in the US, right? Yeah, it might be drones. Who knows? Yeah. 7 in a row. Before they know it, they paint the American flag in the sky. That's a bit patriotic.
I was going to ask you for your egg white allergy. You think that's something you developed over time, or was it a surprise to you? Because, like you said,
it was a surprise because 10 years ago or 15 years ago, when I came back from traveling, I did a food allergy test, and then my food allergy was completely different. It was not egg whites. And then in the meantime, I think I developed it. I mean, we eat like 10, 12 egg whites per day. every day without, like, every time you go out to dinner somewhere, you know, you look at the menu, like, okay, eggs, easy. Give me 5 scrambled eggs, go for it. You know, you got your protein serving, a little bit extra fat. So I think I just developed it. And I was always wondering why my ankles were a little bit swollen and I had a little bit of bloating at the end of the day. And now I stopped the egg whites and my ankles are shredded, besides the right one that I just had surgery on.
I've seen a lot of guys with my clients that develop egg allergies. I did for a while. I couldn't use them for a while, and I reintroduced them. I went like 2 years without eating them, and then reintroduced them this year, and it's been okay. I just make sure I like only do them like once or twice a week.
Yeah, that happened to Jackie last year. She got it was egg whites. She ended up having something off in her diet, and we pulled out the egg whites, put them back in like 6 months later, and she's fine now.
Yeah, you gotta watch out. You get too many whites, and then things start going off the rails. You really gotta control how many whites are involved.
So I had a dinner with Joe Hansen before I left to New Zealand, and he told the same thing. He had an egg white allergy, and then I got my results back the next day after doing blood work. I was like, yeah, of course it's the egg white. It's like the best food on the planet. Of course that's it. You know. So now it's just beef. I'm almost carnivore now. It's just beef and veggies. Chicken, beef.
The
veggies.
IgG test, though, the things you consume a lot of tend to come up high for most people. So it doesn't, and you can just develop they just build up in your system essentially, but cutting them out for a period of time, usually people can reintroduce them successfully in like smaller amounts. But yeah, I mean, you see bikini competitors all the time because they're like living on egg whites and shrimp, and their digestion is just destroyed by the end of prep. And everybody comes back when they do the allergy test. Like they always come back for like chicken, egg whites, like everything comes back that they've been like, I eat this every day. Like, well, yeah, like because you eat every day, IgG is going to be high on a lot of those things. So cutting them out is never bad though, and can usually help resolve a lot of those symptoms.
I think the steroids also make it worse because I just reintroduced them maybe 9 months ago, 10 months ago, last year, after being off for basically a year. And then I had no digestive issues, zero. So do you develop it in 10 months or is it just something lingering that's exacerbated by steroid use? You know, I mean, I did end up at a 1.5 gram cycle. So
possibly
maybe too much gear. I don't know.
1.5 grams is a baby cycle.
Yeah, it's
somewhere Chase is screaming.
It's Monday. Fuck you, it's Monday.
Exactly. That was pre-workout.
Yeah, exactly. So how have you guys been? Enough about me. How have you guys been?
Chase hasn't been on in a while. He was super sick. Had shingles.
Yeah, I heard.
Oh, we got shingles.
Yeah, really bad. Like really bad.
I saw that. What is his name? Guy Cisternino also got shingles. Seems to be running around in the U.S. right now.
I had it in my 30s, and it was probably the second sickest I've been in my entire life. It was pretty fucking brutal.
Did you have all the rashes? Did you have it
on my back? I had it on my back. Yeah.
Yeah. They say that's one of the worst feelings. Is that
it's painful.
Yeah.
It's very painful. Yeah, it was a long time ago. I think swine flu takes the title for the sickest I've ever been.
You got swine flu?
Yeah, when my daughter was only like 1.5 years old, and it was when it was first going around. 1.5 years, 2 years. I don't remember, but daycare kids, bringing home, and then all of us got sick, and it was having to take care of a toddler while you're sick on top of it. It was fucking awful.
Yeah, I'm terrified of that stuff, like the bird flu that they always scare you with, swine flu. It's always something next,
Just to dump the market so you can buy more stocks.
Yeah.
It's the only reason why they make everybody scared, just to manipulate the market. Honestly, it's and then suddenly it's gone, like with COVID. Remember, this variant, that variant, and then in one day it's fucking gone, and nobody talks about it.
Yeah,
and then the market started pumping again, literally on the same week. So it's great buying opportunities, right, Paul?
Yep. Stock market was kind to me last year. It was a great year for, I think, my overall portfolio. Not to make this a finance thing, but I was up 50% last year.
Wow.
Yeah, it was the best year I've ever had on stocks.
Yeah, Tesla and Nvidia. Those were great. And Tesla went down a little bit, but Nvidia did stellar.
Nvidia, Palantir is another one I had.
Did you get into MicroStrategy? before it crashed?
A little bit.
I
They're a
got
local
in.
company too. They're here in this area.
I got in like one of the things that really benefited me is I had a bunch of Bitcoin when I went into prison, and this was back before it was really huge. Like I think I
You have
got
to
it.
pay taxes on that. Don't talk about this.
Well, it's not out yet, so I would have to pull it out. But I got it when it was like 900 to 1500, and then
Wow.
so there you go. So that was really kind of me. But then, like when I got out of prison, a lot of people pull a muscle because you've been out so long that you all of a sudden you want to catch up really fast to the economy.
Yeah.
So you just make a bunch of moves, and not all of them are smart, or most of them are not smart. And so I pulled a bunch out of Bitcoin and put it into the stock market right when Trump was ending, and then when Biden took over, everything just dumped. So my entire portfolio just dumped.
Yeah, the only reason why Biden administration, why stocks went up is because they kept printing money. I don't see that happening this time so much. I don't think the money printing machine is going on right now. I think the dollar, the DXY is going down. So the dollar is going to devalue against other currency, which increases international trade. And that will, the money has to come from somewhere, right? So if you're not printing, then it has to come from trade, basically, or the housing market, which is also a little bit too overbought right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's.
I'm looking at my portfolio. Palantir was my best stock last year. It was up 221%.
No,
Nice.
That's great.
Yeah, and then Nvidia was 150. Meta was 109. Coinbase was 87.
That is a good
Google
one.
was
Yeah,
64. Tesla 63. CrowdStrike 30. I bought one after that. They had that big hack in the stock. Everybody sold the stock. I bought a bunch of it right then.
It's a great idea.
40%. Yeah, those are the big ones I had.
Did something just happen with Netflix, like a GameStop scenario? Did something just happen with Netflix stock? Or did I misread that?
Maybe.
I'm mostly into crypto.
Gotcha.
So I'm up 5x since the bottom. Yeah,
That's crazy.
Insane. It's insane.
Yeah, I have some Bitcoin. It just scares me. Maybe I shouldn't be so chicken about it. I bought like $500 worth of Bitcoin in 2012 or something like that.
Oh,
Just been hanging on to it.
Good. Keep waiting. I'll let you guys know when I'm getting out. Because I trade actively, so it's anywhere between March and October this year.
Everybody's saying 10 more years. It's going to have a 10-year run. That's whatever I keep hearing.
Yeah, so that's usually top signs. Like when Trump makes his own meme coin, that's a top sign.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, we're getting close to the top now. Now, based on some, indicators, we're not close to the top yet. The 2-week moving average being, or the RSI, relative strength index on the 2-week, when you can just see a clear downward resistance. So we're still about this much off, which depending on how fast it goes up, it could hit anywhere between March and October of this year. And that's when I start laddering out. Just wait a year for everything to fall apart again. And then when everybody says Bitcoin is dead, then it's time to buy.
Yeah, that's exactly right. When everybody else is scared.
Yeah.
Warren Buffett literally made his billions buying stocks at the low. That's all he, and blue chip shit.
Yeah.
It sounds easy, right? Buy low, sell high, but then your emotions play with it.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, it's going to go down. Oh, this is like, and then it goes up. That's how they manipulate the market. Or like right now, nothing has happened since Trump got into office. It's just been what everybody expects it to go up. It's just good old market manipulation, man. Just got to hodl.
It's going to get interesting with all these hedge funds using AI to run their portfolios.
Have you seen some of those apps where you can follow like a certain politician and invest just like them?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they got like these apps. So like if we're like Nancy Pelosi's like, amazing at investing, right? Because of all of her inside info, they'll literally show you her moves and you can just match them, and start trading like her.
If you're somebody who doesn't know the market that well, it's best just to get an index fund. Just get an EFT.
Yeah, or fake trade for 4 years, because the cycles are usually around 4 years, 5 years. And if you just fake trade, you keep track of your trades on paper for 5 years, and then you read a couple of investment books. In the meantime, that's probably the best education about how to manage your disposable money.
Sure.
And then you see how much you're up. Like if you're down 50%, well, then maybe investing is not for you. But if you're up 200%, the next time you see an opportunity to buy, then just put some money in and then DCA in there, you know. In the meantime, you just put it again in an index fund or savings account or something like that.
If you just do the index, I think over the last 20 years, it's been like 12% annual, something like that, right around there.
How does it measure against inflation? That's the problem. That's the question.
Still better than inflation. Better than leaving your money in the bank account.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's 100%. 100%.
We were talking about Retatrutide a little bit before you got on. We got started talking about it. I feel like chase is necessary for this one, but
Yeah.
there's been a lot of my clients that have been playing with it and running it in the off season, just low dose, like 1 milligram, 2 milligrams in that range.
Yeah.
The changes in lipids that I've seen on people running it is incredible. I had
They improve.
radically improved, like more than a statin would improve it. I had a client of mine send me his recent blood work, and his LDL was in the 40s.
On cycle, okay, that's good.
Yeah, on cycle, and his triglycerides dropped down to 50, and this is an off season.
Wow.
Yeah, crazy. You've been running it, Dave.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be actually next week pulling my blood, so I'll be interested to see how it's affected since, I don't know, 12 or 14 weeks ago since I last did my blood work, and that's right when I started Reta. So
But you've also been on MOTSI and SLU and all that good stuff, right?
Yeah,
same
so I've
thing,
been
so that
utilizing some of that stuff, but right now I'm a little higher than I guess you'd call a microdose for the Reta. I'm doing like 0.75 milligrams 3 times a week. You know, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And like I was telling these guys before, that's been my sweet spot for just managing hunger, which I really don't need any at this point. So I've been kind of backing it off. So, but I kept it in mainly just because I wanted to see with continued exposure how it would help my blood work. You know, I've noticed at least my glucose levels being excellent. Just more and more all the time. It's just, you know, everything, even my blood pressure, but everything I can manage has been phenomenal. So, but yeah, lipids will be something interested to take a look at for sure.
Chase sent me some update from Professional Muscle. He's like, hey, this guy was also using Retatrutide in the off season, because I didn't do the research, and I still completely agree if it works or not. But again, we hear a lot of anecdotal reports. So he sent me a picture, like, look at this guy being on Reta, how much progress he made. I'm like, okay, I'm starting to get convinced now. Because from a biology perspective, it doesn't make sense to me. But if it works, it works. And if it can replace insulin, then by all means, you know, it's much easier to dose. And again, if you don't overeat during the off season, which some people still do, like I can always eat, then it might be a suitable option or replacement for insulin. Did you use insulin alongside of it, or just Reta and good old food?
Very little. I've luckily don't really ever have to use it anyhow, much on my high days, but I'll just do my protocol for insulin is just using it on my high days on like meals 1, 3, and 5.
Yeah, that's what I do.
And I just haven't had to use it much in general. So, but it'd be nice to see, like you say, if some people react well enough where they don't have to be on like a basal insulin, or maybe it's something like a better replacement for Lantus. I'd be more comfortable with people running it than, you know, running Lantus in the background all the time, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. It's a big. I mean, I did that for like 2.5 years straight. Basal insulin, like 25 IUs, and then insulin on top, or a Humalog on top for the workout, up to 10 IUs. And I grew pretty big. I think it was 120 kilos at the end of that. Not too fat. Didn't lose any insulin sensitivity, but I kept cycling my carbs, you know, based on blood sugar levels. So it kind of worked, but by the end of it, I had a non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. So maybe that can be prevented with something like Retatrutide, which has been shown scientifically to lower NAFLD instances. But that's usually also in the context of appetite suppression and caloric restriction. Which is it the Retatrutide that is helping with the NAFLD, or just the removing of calories? Right. I think that highly contributes also.
The glucagon agonist affecting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd imagine a combination of a little bit of all of that. Yeah.
We did some research, and one of the main mechanisms to reduce LDLs seems to be this inhibition of the angiopoietin-like protein 8. the inhibition of this speeds up the LPL lipoprotein lipolysis, and really seems to really affect the LDLs and triglycerides. And that seems to be the mechanism where it really reduces your cholesterol.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a nice addition for an off season, just to keep your insulin sensitivity high, keep the lipids in line. It always worries me with people running a shit ton of gear in the lipids, especially these dudes that eat high fat diets. Like it really, I would be concerned. I've seen like a lot of guys with carnivore diets and they're running PEDs where they get some really crazy lipids.
Yeah, it's also the lack of fiber, because you're not detoxifying, just reabsorbing it in the enterohepatic recirculation. So whatever gets dumped into the bile acids, you just reabsorb, because there's nothing in the colon to kind of bind through and push it out. So again, I would advise everybody a little bit of vegetables on carnivore, but they're too extreme for that. Well, then the blood work. I mean, I remember reading blood work of a guy that had like a total cholesterol of over 400.
I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen
Allegedly,
it
yeah. On carnivore.
You
He was only on TRT and 18 IUs of growth.
also got to think of all the other little
too. You
things
know which guy you're
that
talking about.
all the other little things that can add up to, guys in the off season aren't doing as much fasted cardio, whether you'd like to see them do it or not. Sometimes their food selections are not as on point as when they're in a cut, or they're being conservative with, cheat meals and stuff like this. These big bolus amounts of fats that can come in. So, so if we can help with that, that'd be great too. Yeah.
Dave, cardio's for the week.
Yeah. My 40 minutes every morning, I'm addicted.
You know how much cardio I've done since my contest prep?
Not much.
Two sessions.
Too. I still do it every day. Well, not since the leg surgery. It doesn't feel comfortable, but yeah, I'll probably start it tomorrow or sometime next week. Just 30 minutes every day, man, on the elliptical. Like, I'm a fat bastard at heart, so I need to do it. Otherwise, I just get bloated and sloppy.
Well, there's literally nothing that mentally gets my mind right better in the morning than that little bit of time. And it's not just the cardio. It's just that peace and quiet that is my own time. I get my day started. You feel so much better, and take a shower and have your breakfast and you're just ready to go. I mean, there's no medication that makes me feel that way. There's nothing that starts my day like that. It's as good as your first cup of coffee, if not better. It's just,
that's great.
I really kind of enjoy it,
Yeah.
Endorphins.
I've been doing it for years.
Yeah, and it's kept me massively leaner. I mean, I feel like my food, my nutrient partitioning is a little bit better. All those little dividends I can pick up to have a better off season. And if it makes me feel better, I don't see the point of, taking it out.
Yeah.
I
agree.
Does it still count as fasted morning cardio if I get up at 9:30?
I get up at 12, so.
I love giving Paul so much shit in his prep of, when he hasn't started cardio yet. I just love messaging, giving him crap about it all the time.
I have a picture of the timer. Like, I got 40 minutes in today, bitch.
Yeah.
Now it's your turn.
Yeah.
Since I retired from my day job, I've been staying up till like 3 a.m.
Welcome to the life of 100% self-employment, man. It's the best.
I like
go to bed
working
at
at
4.
night, man. It's great. It's great for doing check-ins because clients don't respond when you when you do them at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can be more efficient.
Yeah.
My sleep schedule is messed up. That's literally when I'm up. I literally, at that point, it's 3 o'clock. I get up, get in my chair, start the coffee, and I can't sleep any longer. And sometimes I'll do my cardio, have my coffee, and then about 6 o'clock in the morning, I'll take a nap for an hour, and then I start my day. So it's weird how to each their own. They all have their little routine,
I used to be a morning guy when I had a job.
But I'm sure you're happy that you let that go, right? I mean, you let it go right before the Olympia, give or take.
June is when I left.
Yeah. It's the best,
man. I don't regret it at all. It's been so much. It's been so nice.
Paul, talking about Reta, did you start messing? You said you started.
Yeah, I started. I took my first dose on Tuesday when I got back.
Gotcha.
Hey, Colin, I muted you, man. I'm getting a lot of noise from your end.
Too many cats.
Cats and typing.
Oh, it's the typing. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going off in the chat because we've got a gentleman who is not a Retatrutide fan. I'll stop typing. Apparently,
another expert in the chat. Happens to my live stream all the time.
More of an expert than I am, but
yeah.
I mean,
I guess his main point is that he has a concern for bodybuilders in the off season. If you use it, you won't be able to put the food down as well as if you didn't use it.
Yeah, that was my point. My point also. But the appetite suppressing effect of Retatrutide are not as pronounced as tirzepatide or liraglutide or sema or dula, or exenatide that nobody uses. Mm-hmm. So it probably has got the worst appetite suppressing effects, but you got that glucagon and the GIP activation that separates it from everything else. So it has like some overlapping benefits. And then again, you can really ramp up the dose to like 2 milligrams 3 times a week if you want to, 6 milligrams. Mm-hmm. So where did Chase end up? He did like one shot of 10 milligrams or something. And then he could, or with carglycinatide sodium, however the fuck you pronounce it. Then he couldn't eat for like 3 days.
I think he did like 8 of Reta and then 2 of something else. And it was Well, that's the point of the administration strategy. You know, if I was to take that 2.5 milligram dose and did it in one bolus shot every Monday, I wouldn't eat for 3 or 4 days. The breaking up of the dose is what's working for me. And actually doing daily wasn't feeling like it was doing anything. So doing 3 times was my sweet spot, my Goldilocks zone for me. But talking about some of the GLPs, I was going to ask Steve, have you heard of any of these other ones that are rumored to be coming out that are like 4-point GLP-1s that have like 4 or 5 different?
No, but I mean, I know that there's combination medications like, MA abbreviated from one of the peptide companies. I'm not sure if I can say it now. I'm still not sure why my channel was banned, so I'm going to thread lightly in the gray zone, right? Basically. So MA sells like several of these appetite suppressants, and some are like dual action, or they have carglycinatide. I don't know how to pronounce it. And then a GIP and a glucagon, for example. So there's different variations and combinations on the market. But I think they're all just trying to get on board, because when you look at Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly, I mean, their value is just shot up. So all these pharmaceutical companies are like, okay, insulin, great, it's already too expensive, people can't afford it, or the government is trying to shut down the pricing, make it more affordable for lower class, middle class people, and the insurance companies. So we're going to go on the next best thing. Right? First we make them sick, and now we make them, somewhat healthy again with this new medication by changing their food preferences. So they're really all getting on board, and I think it's the same as the SARMs wave, where they just trying to some sort of new androgen receptor modulator, and then everything falls apart because it didn't work. But with this, it does work. So they're all trying to reinvent something new. So I think a lot of new ones are slowly coming to the market, and then it's kind of for us, I had to figure out which one is the best. So I ran Lira and Dula and Sema, and then I switched from liraglutide, which you needed to take every day, to tirzepatide, and now I switched from tirzepatide to Retatrutide. And if there's something new out there, then I'm going to switch to the next best thing that offers the best appetite suppression effects and minimal effects on blood work, and it's somewhat affordable. Because man, it's so overpriced, these things.
Yeah.
Right
I don't know if you've heard of Hunter Williams, Jay Campbell.
Oh, yeah.
And Alex, they had Alex Keikel on his show, on their show, doing some Q&A, and nonetheless, he was talking about basically a Reta that they add like a growth hormone factor to is going to be
IGF-1. Yeah, I've heard about that.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting to see. While they're trying to get like a one medication drug that can do from your diet, growth hormone factors, and maybe an anabolic factor as well.
Somebody was telling me about it, something with some sort of IGF-1 function to prevent the muscle wasting when you're on the, I don't know if that's true, and I haven't looked into it, but
yeah, it's because that's just observational studies basically, where they give this medication to people, but they don't tell them to eat more protein. Mm-hmm. So they lose muscle because or work out, exactly. And they have no muscle mass to begin with. So they just go catabolic because they don't eat enough. They can't eat. And of course, if you give somebody 2 milligrams of 5 milligrams semaglutide in a shot per week, right, you can't eat. My wife took 2 milligrams semaglutide or 1.5 when we went to the US the first time. And then we go to Disneyland. She couldn't eat for 4 days. She just couldn't even hold water down because it was way too high of a dose for her. Like we took it before we left, so we'd have some overlapping effects the first couple of days. And it was such a potent effect for her because she never took such high dose and she hasn't touched it for a while. She just couldn't keep anything down.
Yeah.
So I had to pretend that she was pregnant.
Yeah.
So it's just morning sickness, dude.
Oh man. So like, I mean, that's what I try to teach a lot of my patients too, is that if you're overweight, one of the major reasons for being overweight is hormone deficiency, right? So if we just throw semaglutide on top of just you being overweight, you're already in a catabolic state. You're going to lose primarily muscle mass, right? So I mean, we're not fixing the root of the problem. We're just kind of covering up one of the symptoms, which is eating too much, right? And so that's why like hormone replacement therapy is actually it's better to use with the GLP-1s, because now you're going to you're in more of an anabolic state. You're going to be losing more fat than muscle, and you won't become like skinny fat. Like a lot of we've seen it through a lot of people. Like Al Roker is one of the examples. Like he lost a lot of weight through whatever surgeries, but he doesn't look good, right? He doesn't look healthy. It doesn't look good. That's because you're in a catabolic state and you're just losing all your muscle mass.
Yeah.
And you're not healthy. You don't look good. So hormones for obese people, like hormones with these is more beneficial.
Well, there's a lot of people that make no changes other than implementing that drug.
Right.
So they're not deciding to change their life and add in cardio or add a little bit of resistance training or just proper eating, practices. And you're asking too much of just the GLP-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why you really have to be selective in how you interpret the scientific evidence, because all these negative side effects, like thyroid cancer or pancreatic cancer or other kinds of issues after long-term administration of a GLP-1, I mean, that's in diabetics that eat like ass.
Yeah.
It's a lifestyle disease, right? That they got themselves into a diabetic state because they ate carbohydrates all day, every day for 20 years. And they blew out their pancreas. I mean, of course, you throw in a little bit of GLP-1 on there, and then you're going to get cancer because they don't stop eating like that. So that's just an after effect from the last 20 years, not by taking the drug. It's always a little bit difficult to kind of determine what the scientific evidence will do to healthy people who eat right and make the appropriate adjustments. And again, we figured out in our community that microdosing of these things are way better than doing a single bolus dose.
Mm-hmm. And it seems like the only issue you have with GLP is the fact of only, is the eating part, is the fact that people are not holding to like a protein minimum. They're changing no variable other than adding that. So when you're eating less protein and you weren't healthy already, like you're saying, or you weren't really holding back on your carbs already, it's just not going to you're not going to get a healthy outcome other than I'm eating less. I'm slowing down the process.
I have pancreatic insufficiency, and I'm curious to see how it affects that for me.
Yeah. Check your lipase amylase levels and your HOMA score, if you can, before and after. See if they change.
Yeah, it's been a problem with me. Sometimes my digestion gets really bad, and then I go through phases where I just don't make enough insulin either. I have a weird type of diabetes called type 1B. It's mostly in Asian people. It's where I think it happened. Honestly, I think it was an autoimmune thing. I think it happened after I had Lyme's disease really bad. Yeah. It's when it seemed to show up after that. I don't know. The doctor doesn't know. Yeah, I kept having high A1C, and I wasn't eating any carbs, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And the doctor put me on metformin. That didn't help me help anything. And then I asked him, like, can you check my fasting insulin levels? And they were like 0.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they were like nothing. And he's like, oh. I'm like, yeah, oh man.
Yeah, in that case, your lipase and amylase levels might also be low, and that ruins your digestion.
Yeah, and I
Because
can
you don't
tell
break
when
anything down, so you
Yep.
need that Creon 40,000 that has lipase, amylase, and protease in there.
Yeah, I take
digestive
digestive enzymes with all my meals.
Yeah.
I don't know how much they help, but
If you got a pharmaceutical one that's bioidentical lipase, amylase, and protease, it helps a lot. There's a friend of mine that was being coached by Kurt. He told me about Creon 40,000. So it has 40,000 units of lipase and
Holy
then
crap.
20,000 Creon, like Creole food, Creon with an
I
N.
have to check that out.
Yeah, 40,000. So the number behind it is based on the amount of units for the lipase enzymes, but it also contains amylase and protease. So you take 1 or 2 capsules of that when you go to the buffet, and it just goes right through. It just digests it like crazy. Of course, that's cheating, but it really helps to prevent bloated stomach afterwards when you eat so much food, because it just digests. Like, you don't want to have a metformin before you go to the hotel buffet, because then it just sits there. But
Yeah, and
the
the
digestive
digestion
enzymes.
gets really bad for me on contest prep sometimes.
Yeah, I have the same thing when I take high gear. So that's why I decided to TRT for now. TRT for bodybuilders.
I pretty much have been on TRT for the last 6 months. I had a small little blast before, like right around the Olympia time, and then I came back off. I just been running 300 milligrams of tests. I just started my cycle back up this week. So I'm starting off with a gram of test and 600 primo.
You go from 300 to 1600?
Why not? I got to get ready for the Arnold, Steve.
Oh yeah. I got to get rid of your Arnold. Yeah. Plus, then take some extra gear for Steve that is not coming.
I lost a bunch of weight too, man. I'm down to like 242, 243. So
I'm heavier than you are, dude.
yeah, I know. I need to put weight. I weigh less than I did at my show.
I'm almost catching you, Paul.
Is that cat in heat, Colin?
These cats are eager to be released from this room, and they hear that it's almost time. That's what that is. What do you guys think of Dr. Lipshitz's question? Does a splash of cream in my coffee ruin the benefits of fasted cardio, or am I overthinking it?
Depends on how hard you go on fasted cardio. And if you take some injectable carnitine before.
Yeah, at that point, why bother?
How many units of lipase are you taking, Dr. Lipschitz?
Yeah.
I like everybody's definition of a splash of cream.
Splash.
Yeah. Like you look at cream. Like I was using cream last year in my off season, and I'm like, contest prep starts, and it was like hard to let it go. And I looked at it, 25 calories per tablespoon. I'm like, yeah, like nobody puts just a tablespoon of cream in their coffee.
It's the peanut butter of coffee, right there.
Cream is the peanut butter of coffee.
No. I'm not drinking a quart of cream, but I would eat a jar of peanut butter.
Yeah, same here.
In terms of one's ability to underestimate how much they're using,
having
cream is the peanut butter of coffee.
Having clients measure peanut butter is a way to ruin their life.
Yeah.
My daughter wanted to diet, so I've been helping her out a little bit. She wanted to lose some weight, and I got her tracking calories on a calorie calculator. A macro factor, I think, is what she's been using. But she comes to me and she's like, "Dad, is there really this much in this?" Like, she was looking at ice cream at the grocery store and was just getting all depressed.
Oh, poor thing. Innocence lost.
In 2 weeks from now, you'll see that your Retatrutide is going away faster than you expected. And you're like, have you been sneaking into my medicine cabinet, little girl? Because once they start doing research online, that's the end of it. And then they'll see, what is Dad using? Let me Google that.
She's almost an adult now. She's 17. She's going to go to medical school, so I'm sure.
Oh, she'll know. She'll be on your Reta before you know
it. Oh, you got to do the Halo top or like the Nick Swedish ice cream. It's still a decent.
Get her to plug in that Ninja Creamy.
Yeah.
Paul
Aaron gave me his. Aaron gave me his. It's been sitting here. I haven't touched it.
I bought one on contest prep. It's still in the box in my garage.
Yeah.
I
bought a lot of shit on contest prep that's still in a box in my garage.
Same. Every time I'm dieting, I just buy shit. I don't know what it is. It's like dopamine. Just feel like you need something and you can't eat, so you start. I bought a whole like slew of Lego sets. I haven't finished building them. I know I'm an adult.
I did not know you were a Lego guy, Steve.
Dude, I have like 20 of these boxes sitting here and 25 just ready to be, displayed somewhere.
Is it a particular like type of you like a certain brand, like
just like the 80s stuff? So I
theme?
got the X-Men mansion and the X-Men, airplane, and I got
That's awesome.
the tumbler from Batman.
Okay.
And then a couple of the city stuff like the lighthouse and treehouse. I got
pretty cool.
this Deku tree from Zelda, but it's 2-in-1 set, so I bought 2 sets, so I only had to buy it once.
Okay.
I got 2 Deku trees side by side. Oh my god! They're gonna make us an Enterprise set soon. I heard a rumor, so I'm gonna buy that one also.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I like the truth. One does not simply eat one serving of peanut
Oh,
butter.
the serving is a jar. So at least buy like an 8-ounce jar, so you can, don't buy a 15-ounce jar.
Peanut butter,
20-ounce.
Girl Scout cookies. The serving size is 1 box.
Yeah.
my daughter, she bought a thing of shelled pistachios. She loves pistachios, and she was hammering those. And I'm like, hey, take a look at the calories on those things.
Yeah.
And she looked at it and she goes, I thought these were healthy. I'm like, they are, but you eat like 5 of them.
My wife ate like a 500-gram box of walnuts the day before a competition. She looked absolutely fine, but we wanted the fat load the day before anyway, but she just ate it in 1 serving. So she sat there on the floor with one of those crackers and just talking to her, roommates, because the federation paid for all the rooms for the entry and stuff. And so she's just snacking away, just casually talking. And it's like, all she had left was shells. And then she called me in a panic, obviously. I finished the whole box. So how many? So we weighed what was left. So she ended up eating about 250 grams of walnuts in 1 serving. And I'm like, okay, just chill the fuck out for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
And then we may or may not have administered a little bit more growth hormone at the end of the day. And then she looked absolutely stellar, and she won that class. She won the show.
Yeah, I'm sure it probably filled her out.
It worked. Yeah,
There's
fat loading.
Eat 250 milligrams of.
She was just a bit pissed off that I didn't give her anything else for the rest of the day. It was like 10 o'clock in the morning.
I feel like that would sit with you for a while.
Yeah, especially the last day when you're, can't really eat that much. Yeah, Kai Green's cashew story, eating 5 pounds. Yeah,
eating a 5. Holy shit! I can't imagine the dumps after that.
No,
that doesn't count.
Oh man, I love nuts. I used to eat the fuck out of nuts. So you got to be really careful with them. There's
a joke in there somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a joke in there.
I did like 5,000 calories and
it's low hanging fruit, Steve.
Yeah. The low hanging nuts.
It's for the amateurs, right?
Sorry. So that was my off season, like eating a boatload of fats. Like I know everybody's against the ketogenic diet, but it works so well for me. So I eat like avocado and the rest is mixed seeds and nuts. And I got up to 121 kilos. So that's 270 pounds or something, 265 pounds.
Karina with the jokes. Paul loves nuts. Paul does love nuts.
I love nuts too, but I have to be salty.
Think about the forearm pump after cracking all those nuts.
Yeah,
but
it's usually only on one side, luckily.
Yeah.
You're sideways, Aaron. There you are.
There he is.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
What's up? Right. I'm driving back from LA, so I figured you guys can keep me company for the drive.
But is Jared not with you?
No, he's driving his car. He drove down a couple of days earlier.
How's the Tesla?
Teslas are great. Super easy. I'm not so sure on the color of this one, but it's a nice drive.
Do you have the autopilot or no?
Yeah, but I think it kind of banned me and locked me out because I was because if you don't keep your hands on the steering wheel or something like that.
Yeah, if you don't pay attention to the road, it'll lock you out, so you can't use it.
But what's the point in it then? So it locked me out.
That's government regulation here in the U.S. It has nothing to do with Tesla.
Aaron was definitely napping behind the wheel. For sure.
Just doing
I don't
shots of
even-
insulin.
I was doing my shots exactly. Steve knows.
While driving.
Doing the AA shots, in the chest and the shoulders and super shredder. Get ready. How's the diet going, man? 4 weeks out, 5 weeks out?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been really good. We deloaded the last couple of days just while traveling, and I got my last little bit of carbs going in today, so it's going to be a bit of a drag and a slog for this next week, but it should be good. Smashing a little bit of oatmeal as we speak. But yeah, everything's going good. Desert heat is paying off. I seem to just kind of never hold any water, which is nice out here.
That's good. Yeah. In Thailand, we hold a boatload of water from the humidity. Sucks.
Yeah, constant management.
Feels like you've been on prep for like a year now, Aaron.
Yeah, I mean, it does. Yeah, it does feel like that. I pretty much have almost since April, but I did have a few little breaks along the way. Little mini breaks just to make sure everything's good and fresh. But I still feel really good. So,
Lucas wants to know how the Expo was.
Huh?
Lucas wants to know how the Expo was.
It was interesting. I mean, it depends how many different genders you want to see on stage at the same time. But
LA, bro.
I think that's probably the last time you're going to see that, based on this executive order thing that everyone keeps talking about.
Yeah, but it was a woman in a men's competition, right? Just wearing the
she was young as well. That's the weird thing. She seemed like really young, like teenage young, and everyone was like, "What the fuck?" And then she had these patches over the nips, and I'm like, I don't really have any issues with females jumping into male classes, but at least complete the transition first. You can't just be walking out there with your bloody watermelon swinging about everywhere and just jumping in male class. It just doesn't look good. So I don't know, that's just my opinion. I thought I'd post it when I saw it, and it absolutely blew up on Instagram. So I don't know. That's one I might just send over to Colin and let him take over. He might have a
that's Colton's kind of
field. But yeah, the expo itself was all right. It was pretty big. Everyone said it was a bit busier and bigger than it has been the last couple of years since the you know what flu. So that was a positive. But God, LA is horrible. I'm not coming back here. LA is a dump. Sorry, guys. Sorry, America. I love everywhere else I've been to so far, but LA was gross.
Even the Walmart stuck there.
Yeah, I should have.
Even on the streets, it's kind of nasty.
It's nasty, right? It's just all grimy and dirty. Even in the nice areas, it's like,
And there's
like
a lot of homeless people and
homeless people, the fentanyl zombies walking around everywhere.
Yeah.
It wasn't very nice. It was very loud, lots of sirens all day, all night. So,
Did you hear any gunfire?
Yeah, well, gunfire, fireworks, whichever one. We're not sure what it was, but probably gunfire, I guess. But yeah, it's just not my kind of place, So,
yeah.
But everyone's done that. It's funny. I bumped into Branch again at the gas booth.
Oh yeah, cool.
And he's like, "Oh, you're back." And I said, "I told you I'd move here." And he was like, "My man, welcome to America." And he was like, "Wait, you're not living in LA, are you?" And I was like, "Nah, this place is a dump." And he's like, "Yeah, man, this ain't America." I was like, the way you said it as well, I was like, God, he's the most American dude I know. He's so cool.
My wife is an LA person. She's texted me. She's like, "Don't talk about my home like that."
Oh, really? Is she at least from a nice area?
Oh man,
Well,
where was the Fit? What part of LA was the Fit Expo in?
The convention center, so pretty much downtown.
Downtown, okay. Yeah.
Well, it's like a few miles away from the hotel we were staying at, which was dead downtown. But a few miles in LA is like half an hour drive. It's ridiculous.
You get a little more down into SoCal. SoCal's great. You get down to like San Diego and down into Orange County and stuff. That's nice.
Yeah, everyone says that. Everyone's like, San Diego, beautiful, really nice spot. But just LA itself is, that's I won't be going back there anytime soon. Let's just put it that way.
Well, you'll get
Just
a contrast. You'll get
go to Disneyland. That's the only thing fun there, in my opinion.
You'll get to go to the Midwest now and go see Columbus. That is a contrast.
Yeah, I've heard
This is nice.
stories about that too.
Columbus is actually
it's
nice.
no, it's a nice
At
town.
least Ohio. Yeah, I liked it a lot there.
It's a nice town. It's just like somebody set a city down in the middle of a cornfield.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it felt like.
Well, I've got a nice little trip to Texas next week, so it'll give me my first little Texas experience.
Where are you going to Texas?
Just Dallas. Hit a couple
Dallas
of
is nice.
Dallas. I think Jared's got
You'll-
some stuff to
You'll
do
like
with my honey,
Dallas.
and I'm going to go and check out a couple of the gyms and have some fun. Yeah,
Nice.
rent a big truck for a couple of days.
Hell yeah.
Get some shit.
Enjoy, man. Yeah. Shoot some guns. Go to the range.
What's the gym in Dallas, Dave? You used to go down there, right?
We used to go to Destination with Gasping Better Bodies.
Yeah, I get Destination Dallas. Yeah.
Yeah, they just moved, so that's all done with now.
We're going to do Destination still there.
Mhm.
We're going to do that one and the new one, the Absolute Recomp, big giant one.
Yeah,
Everyone's
I've heard
got
that's amazing.
Looks
That's
pretty cool.
probably the biggest gym in the world right now.
It's got to be up
Yeah.
there.
Joel's an expert on eating. He said the best barbecue ever. Texas is.
Now, I want to know
barbecue.
Joel's 2 cents on specifically what the best barbecue is in Texas. I'll put it on my list.
And you have to be able to go there in Birkenstocks.
Yeah.
I don't know. I might don the cowboy boots just make a special exception for the Salt Lick.
When in Rome.
Cowboy boots with booty shorts is a certain kind of look, Colin.
Oh, yeah.
My cow booty.
Daisy
Daisy
Dukes.
Dukes. My
Right
Daisy
all the
Dukes.
way up.
You could wear that in LA too.
So, yeah. I mean, it's an
If you-
easy transition.
If you weren't on prep, I would say go get a Texas baked potato. They load them up with barbecue. I got to show a picture of this shit. Hang on, it is the greatest thing ever, man.
Yeah, Texas barbecues are phenomenal.
Yeah, you got to. It's called a baker. They call it a baker, but here it is.
Oh man.
Oh, damn.
Oh, wow.
That's my
That's a
favorite
real-
kind of potato.
Yeah.
The one where you can't see any potato underneath all the barbecue.
Love it.
I can't aptly describe the size of these things. I have never seen a potato that big in my life. These things they look like a football.
I'm not the most patriotic guy just generally, but nothing makes me prouder to be an American than barbecue. I'll be honest with you. Like it's something we do, nobody else does, and they can try, but we'll do it better. God bless America and God bless barbecue.
And what's even better with barbecue is every state in the South has its own kind.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's like a patchwork of flavors and techniques that's uniquely American. I'm
Like
tearing-
Texas
I'm gonna
barbecue
start
is
tearing
nothing
up
like
over here.
Tennessee barbecue or North Carolina barbecue.
Well, even when I
It's the
went
best
to
activity.
Kansas City's a unique barbecue
Yeah.
style as well. That's really good.
Mhm.
Yeah, they have the sweet barbecue.
Yeah.
Lucas.
Well,
Because
I
so
think
good.
it's Dallas
though.
that
Just
has
let
the,
us celebrate our culture, Lucas.
Come on, Lucas.
yeah, the place that has the 3.5 pound cinnamon roll, I think, is in Dallas. Like, have you guys ever seen those? They're huge. I mean, they're it's like the size of a cake, but it's a cinnamon roll.
Yeah,
Oh,
Texas
that's no
definitely
problem.
has its own
Same
food.
as New Zealand. I went to one of the grocery stores there, and you go to the bakery aisle, and you have like cinnamon roll this big. And I'm just circling it, just contemplating, should I have this or not? And then I ended up buying it. And of course, when I finished it, I was majorly regretting it. But while I was eating it, it was very enjoyable. Everything is so big. That's why I like Thailand, because you can, like, a pack of Oreos comes in a pack of 3. So you can just buy 3 cookies, not 30, just 3.
Yeah.
And small cupcakes, they come by 1. It's much easier to manage your caloric intake. And then I go to the US. I mean, Aaron can vouch for me. I just buy everything inside. That's why maybe it's a better idea that I don't come this time. 'Cause I just destroy all the grocery stores.
Steve goes hard in the States. We see
know
the
how to eat here.
real vigorous in capital letters Steve come out to play in the state.
I can easily gain like 15 kilos there of just fluff in 2 weeks. 1 kilo a day. Doesn't matter if I'm Retatrutide or not. I just want to eat everything. All the ice cream and all the cookies.
But it's
We
also
love to eat.
well, all of that food talk, that oatmeal I just had, all of a sudden just tasted really boring. There is a donut store about 15 feet away from me, though. I might have to
Stay on target. Stay on target.
I've been very well behaved so far.
Yeah, reach in that fanny pack and grab some Retatrutide.
It is great in the U.S. Like each region and area has its own kind of food and things that it's well known for. Like D.C. here, we have half smokes. Right up the road to Baltimore, it's crab cakes.
Yeah, Boston, we're all seafood,
clams, and
I did find that you guys were telling me about the. My phone just fell off.
I fell.
Not such a good.
What are those cookies in your dashboard?
Krispy Kreme.
Oh man, that sucks. That phone holder sucks. All right, well, you might not be getting a good angle of me driving. But yeah, you told me about that. The low calorie like butter spray.
That was Joel. Yeah.
Can't believe it's
yeah. I went in. Where was it? I went to the Trader Joe's place as well.
That was a great video.
Yeah, Trader Joe's was all right. It's not Walmart though, is it? You know, Walmart's got a special.
He's sounding more American by the day, isn't he? Yeah, Trader Joe's is all right. It's no Walmart, am I right?
Am I
right? I just saw your cheesecake enthusiast.
It's fantastic. I love the cheesecake.
I'm changing.
That's
There's nothing more American than Walmart.
He's been bitten.
Yeah.
We get the barbecue in him. He's lost.
Yeah, that's going to be the difficult one in Texas. I might have to just fast for a couple of days to allow some space for a barbecue meal. Is that doable? I can make that work.
Yeah, it takes
one Walmart to an immigrant is like Valhalla to a Viking.
Yeah, it is fun in there though because you have so many aisles and every aisle has new stuff. I think I brought home like 12 cans of some sort of variation on a cappuccino. With caramel for my wife. So hey, there's another caramel cappuccino for you. And all of like 30 grams of sugar each. After a while, we're so nauseous. It's not fun.
We get complaints about the barbecue talk.
I think Leo's making a valid point.
All right, let's talk about. Someone start talking about Trent, quick.
We do have
Last time I took
questions.
All right, we'll take some questions. Leo, you ruined the party, man. We're talking about barbecue, man.
He's right.
Come on, dude. Let's
Leo
have some
says
fun.
get back on track. We have actually people paying to ask questions, so it's.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Adam asks, what's the best time to take a progress photo if you're carb cycling? Is it the morning after a high carb day or after a low carb day so you can see what's going on with less bloat? If it's not consistent when you take the pictures, it may be hard to judge progress. What do you think?
I just
every day.
Take
pictures every day. Shut the fuck up.
I'll tell you when I look my best is the two days after the high day. That's when I look the best. Mm-hmm. It's not the day after; it's 2 days after. You'll lose some of that water, and you still hold the fullness. I like with my clients, I don't really care when they do the check-in pics. I just want them to be consistent. Yeah. I prefer them fasted and in the same light. Yeah. And also like it drives me nuts when guys try to put photo filters and make their photos look better. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude, don't get the goon lighting and use all the filters and stuff. I just want I'm pretty sure that Samson looks like Samson in his bad lighting pictures, right?
No.
Yeah. So
because that's
you
the
look
goal,
good
right?
in bad lighting. That's when you know you're ready.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's the goal. So as long as there's like a background that's dark, so you have a little bit of a contrast to the body, then the lighting doesn't really matter. You can filter your pictures for Instagram, but to the coach, it should just be the worst pictures you have. So
Is
by the
everyone
time your
frozen?
worst pictures look, when you actually look good, then you're ready for the stage.
Yep.
And otherwise, you're just not ready yet. It's that simple.
Yeah, be consistent. You got people get up at like they get up at 6, take their photos, get up and take them at 9. The lighting coming through the windows different, and all these different variables. So, whatever you can create consistency with is probably that's what I like to see from.
I do like them fasted though, so we see what you look like without water.
Right.
Yeah. No, I do agree. And then maybe some selfies in the gym after the workout to see how the carbs are holding. Like you can clearly see if somebody's flat or full, because people always say that they're hungry. And so let's see how flat you are. And then they have a massive pump in the gym. Like, you can wait a few more days, buddy. You're still good. You're still good. As long as you have just as long as you have a black background, that's what I always told my clients when I was still coaching, because then you don't have, the artifacts in the background. You can actually look at the picture. And it also forces them to kind of take the picture in the same place.
How many times when somebody says they're flat, are they really flat?
No, not very. No.
Almost never.
I've been pretty flat.
Yeah, but you're not on the pharmacology that the bodybuilders are on, right? So they're on Anadrol and this and growth hormone and this and that. Yeah, don't get a pump. Did you still have a workout? Yeah, I hit all my targets, and shut the fuck up. Don't complain.
Except for when we take those photos, Amy, we usually say, "Hey, we're not lean enough. We're not complaining the other way around."
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
when you lose like 5-7 pounds overnight, suddenly, then you're pretty glycogen depleted. But for most people, it doesn't happen that fast, unless they're like 6% body fat.
Yeah, I do flatten out pretty easy, but I'm not like a regular person.
You're pretty shredded, so that's what separates. Like I know that I'm getting close to lean when I just, after like 10 days of no carbs, I suddenly drop like 5 pounds, 7 pounds of water overnight, and then I know I'm depleted. And then you can technically load up.
Yep. All right, what do we got next, Colin?
Another one from Jason. His best friend is running his first cycle, slowly increased 500 milligrams test per week. He had his blood work done and his AST increased from 30 to 68, ALT 48 to 60, and T3 uptake 31 to 38. What are your thoughts?
Should add an aromatase inhibitor, because that's a lot of tests for. But
Yeah, probably.
For first
he
cycle?
started training harder, because the aminotransferases are also found in skeletal
Yeah, that's
muscle.
not
And when you train
that's not
hard,
actual liver stress.
they leak from
Well, those
if you're bilirubin and gamma GT and albumin and globulin and total protein, if that's all in range, that sounds like a broken record. But you're fine, dude. And T3 uptake, maybe your thyroid binding globulin levels are down from the steroids, which lower thyroid binding globulin levels, and that's why your T3 uptake is going up.
Yeah, and sometimes they start their cycle, they finally start eating higher protein, they finally start training harder, applying and then all those other variables go up because of those variables as well. So
we don't have enough information.
Healthy.
Yeah, we don't have
Where's
enough.
the rest of your blood work, bro?
Yeah.
Where's your complete blood count? Where's your creatinine? Where's your cystatin C? Where's your?
It's not him, guys. It's his best friend.
It's
Yeah. Yeah, my best friend is also running YK11. My best friend just did gyno surgery. Just asking for a friend.
Best friend loves cheesecake.
Yeah, exactly. Aaron just lost service. That's why he's not. So yeah, those are my thoughts.
Really eating.
I don't think these are bad numbers at all.
Yeah.
You should see my liver enzymes when I train hard. It's over
Yeah,
100.
Yeah, mine are always like that.
Like Dave says, if you're on a bigger cycle, you're going to be breaking down more protein, and you're probably working out harder. So the increase in AST, ALT is really not concerning at this point.
Yeah, same as blood urea, nitrogen, creatinine. As long as you stay hydrated, you do everything to stay healthy. You take a little bit of Tutka and NAC or Tutka and injectable glutathione. And again, if you're concerned about these blood work markers, then your blood work was probably not complete, because on the other markers, you could have easily seen that your liver is fine, because the other markers will be in range. And if your gamma GT is like 400, okay. time to pull the plug. But from 500 tests, I highly doubt it.
Yeah. If you're concerned, learn how to rest sometimes too. You can always back off. Learn how to rest properly too. If you're not resting properly, those things are only going to build faster and faster as well.
If you want to get it down fast for a week. It'll drop your liver enzymes in half.
Yeah, but your friend looks fine on those few variables from what I see.
Yeah.
I really have been mixing in some fasting here and there. I enjoy it. It really helps a lot.
According to Alex Keuchel, it makes you taller.
Probably fixes your eyesight and cures cancer too.
Cures cancer too, yeah. Yeah, you got me into that, Paul. My son
There actually is good evidence that fasting is beneficial if you have cancer, like especially if chemotherapy.
Fasting does cure cancer, but we're talking about Keuchel.
Yeah, we're just joking. He claims a lot of things he can cure. 9 out of 10 cancers.
That's like that's a top signal.
Mm-hmm. Fasting makes you taller. That's why Gandhi was 7 feet tall. Is that right?
Yeah. I fast 5.5 days every 3 months. I've done so since 2017. I didn't grow an inch or a millimeter.
You're not getting courted by the Spurs as we speak?
No. I'm surprised. That's why I went in for the femur extension surgery.
Donnie wants to know, how do you determine when it's time for insulin on high days?
When your profile picture is a cocktail and a bunch of chicken wings you just slammed, it's time for some or at least time to check. Yeah.
Definitely time to add some insulin.
Well, what you do is you monitor, and you continue to monitor it over time. And if like myself, I won't administer if I'm like at least 90 or above, and I'm going to have a high carb meal. With my strategy, meals 1, 3, and 5. So if I don't need it, I don't take it. The guys that take insulin just because it's a high carb day, that's why you're checking all the time to see if you're going to get some use out of it.
I put it in my insulin ebook. Like if you want to take insulin, keep a glucose log, which means you check your fasted blood glucose levels every day for a week before meal 1. So that's after fasted cardio. Yeah, but what about I don't do fasted cardio? Okay, you do it once. Right, before meal 1, which is your fasted state. Then before meal 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, how many meals you have, post-workout and before bed. Then you have a whole week's log of glucose readings, and then you can start incorporating insulin. Now, if you continue that practice until you kind of dial in your insulin, and then you see on your high days, if you keep tracking your blood glucose throughout the week, and on your high days you see without the insulin that your blood glucose levels are going up towards the end of the day, then maybe you add in a little bit of insulin towards the end of the day. Now, you have to look into the timing of insulin, obviously, because Humalog is not the same as intermediate acting or long acting insulin. It's short acting, rapid acting. Mm-hmm. So you have to understand when this is active and that you don't drop too low. So there's a lot of things that go into insulin use. That's why I wrote an ebook about it. Shameless plug. It's on my website for a discount. It's one of the best ebooks on insulin you can find anywhere. Mm-hmm. On par with Kurt's growth hormone ebook. But about insulin. And it just kind of teaches you on how to slowly manipulate your blood work levels or your blood glucose levels. And if you can't manipulate it anymore with dietary practices, then insulin can be required. But once you start noticing that your blood glucose levels start to rise towards the end of the day, then maybe next time you add in a basal insulin, which is very easy to manage. But most people, I don't know, if you're already on high steroids and high growth, and then every high day or every day is basically a high day, then that's usually the time that you need insulin.
Mm-hmm.
The
great information.
Continuous glucose monitors, they've come way down in price now. They're you can get them for $100-$150 now. And I think the patches last for 2 weeks, about 2 weeks, something like that.
Really?
Yep.
Do they always have to go on the back of your arm? Is there a certain
wherever.
spot? You can put them wherever? Huh.
I've seen people put them on their lower back and wherever.
Have you ever seen changes in people's glucose readings periodically over time when they have the ability to pick their own foods? So they might still have 1,000 carb high day, but they're doing high glycemic carbs one day. The next day, they're a little bit more even keel carb selections. Have you ever noticed that? Or
yeah,
it's always changing.
Yeah,
it's always changing. So that's why you
Yeah,
want to be
even
as
things like
consistent as
stress can
possible.
really impact glucose readings as
True.
well.
Yep.
I've noticed a lot of times too on contest prep towards the end, like clenbuterol seems to affect it too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Another
even growth
thing-
hormone to a certain extent, can raise
Yeah.
glucose levels.
Yeah, a lot of guys will end up getting high fasting fasting glucose levels towards the end of contest prep, even when they're super depleted. I've seen.
That is catabolism.
Yeah.
Another little thing people forget too is
Gluconeogenesis.
create some levels of consistency with your checking your glucose. Make sure that you're not overhydrated one morning and then dehydrated the next.
Yeah.
You want to make sure those variables that you're looking at are of value. For sure.
All right, let's get one or two more in, and then I got to roll.
I don't think we'll get to everybody today. I don't know how that happened.
We got so many
But-
people paying for questions today. This is awesome.
Yeah,
Because I'm on here.
This Paul's back
I'm on here.
here.
It's infectious.
Rapid fire.
Yeah, they're putting their digital singles in your digital G-string, Steve.
There you go.
You come on here dressed like that, okay? What do you
Yeah.
expect?
Yeah,
The
it's right on the
page
lap.
has-
I mean,
I feel like I could lick your shirt and go on a trip for 8 hours.
you could. You could. Yeah, my sweat is highly psychedelic.
Poison arrow.
I swim in that shit.
Jason wants to know, how long can you run Retatrutide for 1 to 2 milligrams per week?
I mean, we
And
don't
in
run out of
studies,
money.
they're having people on for 70 plus weeks. So there are multiple year studies on people using it for a long duration without any increase in side effects.
Yep. So
As
Yeah,
long as you can afford, it's just like growth hormone.
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah, but if you're asking about the effectiveness of the dose, that's going to be something that's person to person dependent. How quickly you metabolize that dosage.
Right.
Some people might escalate that dose high
That's true.
quickly. Some other people, you might get some good runway with that.
Safety
couple of
question,
weeks.
no problem. If it's an efficacy question, like at least for me, like I ran 2 milligrams for about a month, and now I'm up to 3 because it just feels
Yeah.
like it makes sense for me, and I'm just keeping track of how I feel with, my cravings and stuff.
It seems like the Retatrutide, you need to ramp up the dose faster than other GLPs. Because with tirzepatide, I could stay on 3 milligrams per week for 4 months straight if I wanted to. But with Retatrutide, after about a month, I feel that I need to go from 3 to 5. And then maybe even higher. You seem to build up a tolerant effect faster, in my opinion. So,
I think that's why, wasn't that why Chase was pretty much trying not to top out his Reta dose? He started keeping it at like 8 and then implement other GLPs so he didn't have to top out one compound.
yeah. And I think he also wanted to get the maximum appetite suppression because he's a foodie, just like me. And he's also got a little bit of an issue with food. So he just wanted to find the maximum appetite suppression. That's why he was so miserable in Las Vegas, because he took so much appetite suppression. I can't eat. It's
That
too
sucks.
much. I felt so bad for him. I said, we're here at one of the best restaurants. Just eat something. I can't, bro. It's too much.
Oh no.
Look at Emperor Sheaves, like that comment there. I mean, that sounds like an electrolyte problem. You need,
Which
No,
can
this is a
get off
common side
balance
effect
from
of-
GLP-1s.
yeah, you need
Yeah,
potassium and magnesium probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a common
Yeah.
side effect. Yeah.
Yeah, like I told you, mine went up about 10 to 15 beats per minute. I just started this week, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Although it's 70
Potassium.
right now. It seems
Get
to have
potassium
slowed down.
pills, and even take potassium pills. And
I take tons of potassium.
Oh,
I
okay.
use
Yeah, me too.
I use light salt. I don't use regular salt.
Mm.
Dean turned me on to that.
oh, there's Chase.
Chase was fucking ripped.
Chase is
Yeah.
ripped.
All the fat you didn't gain, I gained for you, Chase. Somebody has to gain some fat in America. Come on.
I have this.
Took the L there.
I have this genetic gift where I can lose weight and gain fat at the same time. That's my
Yeah, same here.
that's
Yeah,
my superpower.
yeah, I can do that too.
I weigh less, and I think I put on like 5% body fat for my show.
Like everything sinks, from the shoulders and the chest, like right to your belly button area. And then at one point you look in the mirror, you're like, what the hell happened?
Yeah.
Why do I look so sloppy?
Paul, I'm getting the opposite experience of you right now. We're very similar in many ways, but I'm getting the opposite at the moment. My weight just keeps staying the same, and it just keeps getting better improvements at this point. Lucking
Well,
out.
you're
Enjoy,
actually
man.
doing the right things and not eating double cheeseburgers like I do. And I eat 3 meals a day, and one of them's at McDonald's. It's not.
Oh, really?
But if not for your efforts, Paul, we wouldn't know what the best key lime pie in Key West is. So
Yeah,
I applaud you.
I'm not shitting you. I think I had about 10 slices of key lime pie when I was in Florida.
That's awesome. And I don't doubt that's not hyperbole.
And I don't drink, but when I do, I drink pina coladas.
Oh, really?
The hard stuff. That'll put hair on your chest.
Oh man,
man.
Marissa one day she's like, I had 5, which is that's the most I've drank in shit, I don't know, 8 years, 9 years. And she was like, can we go to this other bar? And I'm like, I'm tapping out, man. I'm done.
Yeah.
If I was like, I was pretty tipsy on 5.
I bet.
Yeah, Paul literally texted me pictures of as I'm walking out the door to go snow plowing, and it's like my least favorite thing on the planet. And he's texting me pictures of like the beautiful coast.
Good timing.
I was like, well, shut up, Paul.
I left my kids at home in the snow and the freezing and went to Florida.
As all things should be. They're old enough.
Your son didn't even
go
know
enjoy yourself, man.
Funny one about
Where's Dad?
Yeah. He emerges from his room 4 days later. Oh, you went somewhere?
I shit you not. I had been home for almost 24 hours, and he rolled out of his room, and he's like, when did you get home? I'm like, yesterday, dude.
You know what? That's funny too. Is Jackie's favorite thing to do when she's hanging out with Paul is just get the updates of Uber Eats from his kids. So he'll get his phone and he'll be like, "Oh, the kids are eating again," and she's always curious, like, what they're ordering.
I'm the ultimate single parent. I don't cook food for my kids. I just give them my Uber Eats account, and I'm like, just give them the fuck you want. I'm terrible.
Well, I guess I still have 10 years before that starts to happen to me. We got about 4 months left. And then
exciting.
That life is over. We're going to be parents also.
Oh, yeah.
Fun.
Good.
Oh, it's great. It's
great.
It definitely will change your life, but it's a pretty amazing thing.
Yeah, you planning on staying in Thailand as your kids? Is that going to be your destination? Yeah.
Yeah, for as long as it's good. For as long as it's good. Like we traveled all over the world, and Thailand, all things considering, is still the best. Like I love Las Vegas. So I don't think my wife would want to move there. But that will be like the second option. So if shit hits the fan for whatever reason, then I'd gladly move to Vegas. And then
It's just
start over
incredibly
there.
expensive there. That's the only issue in Vegas.
Yeah. And I got really spoiled over here cost-wise because I don't spend anything and I earn really good. And then the taxes are minimal.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's like fucking 50% here.
Yeah. So I'm so used to this kind of living that I don't think I can change. That's the hard part, because today we went out to dinner. It was $100 for 2 of us, and that's considered super high-end luxury. Whereas in Vegas, if you want super high-end luxury, you spend $1,000.
Yeah.
So, and the housing is pretty cheap. Our house is paid for, so it's I think I'm going to stay here. Just private school is expensive. That will cost me $30,000 a year.
Yeah.
Per kid. But that's okay. It's worth it.
Yeah.
I just need to sell more peptides through affiliate sales, and then it'll be okay.
Nice.
All right, let's grab one more, and then we'll roll out of here. I'm going to be on another podcast in 20 minutes.
Since we have Steve here,
multi-podcast day.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, this is the gentleman who did not like Retatrutide, but I'm not holding it against you. No, everybody. Yeah, I'm just kidding. He thinks we don't like him, but we do like you. Hey, Steve, have you noticed? Yeah, right. Have you noticed a correlation between high systemic stress and gut dysbiosis? Notice towards the end of a training block, my gut goes to shit. Pun not intended.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that with multiple people. That's one of the indications that you need a deload. It's the same as sleep quality, right? So if you are overtrained or just highly stressed from work, then things start to fall apart. and it's just time to take a week off. Now, taking a week off from work is sometimes difficult, but taking a week off from the gym is pretty doable. And if you then have digestive issues because of that, or sleep quality issues, or just mood issues, libido issues, that's why I usually tell people when everything happens at the same time, like their life is completely ruined and they wonder what the hell's going on, just go on a vacation, chill the fuck out, eat what you want, and everything will sort itself out. All right, you can do blood work, but it's only a moment in time. So if your cortisol levels are normal and your inflammatory markers are normal, doesn't mean that they're normal the entire way through. Like they're normal in the morning, and then maybe you're inflamed and highly stressed at the end of the day when you just finished your work.
Yeah.
And again, it depends where the stress is coming from. You know, it could be from your partner. You want to take a vacation from your partner, come to Thailand. You know, I'll give you a permanent vacation from your partner when we take some pictures. Yeah, I know just the places. Just not all the ladyboy bars where I can take you to end that relationship and get out of the stress zone.
Yeah.
So
such a
Yeah,
hard thing to do for some people. Like it took me a long time to really learn how to back off and have a proper rest week, a proper deload week, and get the most out of it. Because a lot of times you start off like, I'm going to take it easy, and then I find out I got 4 plates on whatever I'm lifting, and I'm like, well, so much for a deload. Yeah.
Stay home, man. I can't do it either. When I go to the gym, I want to crank.
Yeah.
You know, within the confines of my training program. And when I deload, I just don't even go, because I'll go there and in the beginning you're warming up and you get the motion going. It's like, oh, this feels really good. And then suddenly you're hitting a PR. And you're like, oh man, this workout is going to be amazing. And then after that, you're destroyed for 3 days because you're already overtrained. And then you're laying in bed looking at the ceiling like, why can't I sleep? And during the day, you're moody and stuff. And then you know, pissy at your partner for no reason. So I just stay home. And you know,
for me, I got to stay in routine just because it helps with my sobriety, just having that routine that stays. So learning to take it one step further, but once I figured it out, it was a beneficial week. I'm making some great progress on my deload week. You know,
go do some Coladas, something new. That's also a challenge.
Yeah.
That's what I would recommend to people who need to stay regimented. So just go do some yoga or Pilates, which is hard AF when you're all bound up at the end of deload. But then after a week of stretching, you actually feel good again. And it feels like a challenge.
Yeah.
And you have to be somewhere for your physical activity. So that's what I would recommend. Give it a try. I know it's just don't take any pictures. Never say that you went there. But then, you know, you actually did something for your mobility.
I like yoga.
Yeah, yoga is actually pretty tough.
I like to watch it.
Sit at the back of class.
Yeah, just observe. Yeah, good stretch.
All right, folks, I need to wrap this up. We appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for
Thanks, everyone.
today.
It's good to talk to you guys again.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, Steve.
Yeah.